Well, howdy once again. Welcome here to the Double M Farm. It's been a couple of days. The last video was part one of adjusting the bucket curl on the Harbor Freight trencher. Something a lot of people have done, but nobody has ever really posted a video of how it works and how much it helps and how much it hinders. So that's what I tried to do in part one, and I came up with a couple of ideas, so I thought I'd just go ahead and make a part two here. You know, if you make a part one, you need to make a part two. So you can see it's curled out good. If you watch the last video, I'm going to back up so I don't have to shout over the engine. If you watch the last video, you know that there's a short rod and a long rod, and I reversed them. Put the longer rod up here so that when the cylinder, I put the short rod up here so that when the cylinder goes in, retracts in, that shorter rod causes the bucket to curl more this way, allowing you to dig a straighter side to a hole. But what happens is when you put that shorter rod there, then when you extend that cylinder, the bucket obviously will not curl as far this way, which means that, like me loading my dump truck, I have to curl the bucket as far as I can and lift the dipper up to swing it over and dump it into the dump truck. So by having that shorter rod there, it helped swinging out this way, but it hindered me a little bit swinging this way. So I came up with a happy medium. I put the shorter rod back in its stock location, and then I took the long rod and put it on the drill press and drilled out a second set of holes so that I could adjust it as needed. So now this longer rod here is back in its stock position like it comes from the factory. Here's the stock hole. So I drilled a new hole. I used the shorter rod for a pattern, laid it on top, but what I did was I moved it up about half a hole. I forget the measurements, but I moved the shorter rod upward on the long rod about half a hole and then drilled my new holes. And now with the linchpin on here, if I need to have the bucket swing further out and dig a straighter on the bank or reach further, I can put it in this hole. But if I start loading my truck and I'm not able to curl it far enough, I can always just pull the pin, this one pin, and move it back and not have to mess with all the other pins. The only thing you need to watch when you do it is trying to shade the sun. There we go. You can see how close tolerance it is there for the cylinder to fit between them. I don't think there's enough play that either one of them would get caught on the cylinder. I've tried it. I've been working it for about 30 minutes to make sure. I guess I could grind a little bit off these edges just to make sure, but that would be the only thing I've seen you'd have to watch for. You obviously have to do it this way, because if you did it the other way, this end would hit the bucket down here. But I'm not curled out quite as far as I was with the short one, because again, I'm a half a hole off, but I did that on purpose so that I could curl it further this way to maybe give me a happy medium. And that's more than far enough. As you can follow the line of the dipper, it's coming way down here. Whereas when you put the short one here, whereas when it's in that hole up there, the stock hole, the bucket's curl all the way out is way down here. The line from the dipper hits inside the bucket. So that's a good way to measure and tell. So that is far enough out that you could dig a good straight line. And I believe it's going to be slow because I got the motor idling down low so that I don't have to holler so much. So it's going to curl slower than usual, but I believe I've reached a good happy medium where I can pick it up high enough to go over the sides of my little dump truck without losing my load. When I had the short one up here, these teeth were way back here. So I believe that will hold the load and still dump in my little dump truck. So that's what we've done. Going to take it down to the pond probably tomorrow and start cleaning out the pond. So we'll try to get some video on that. But I believe that's a good happy medium. And then of course, if I'm just digging a trench and don't really care or need the bucket to curl way out here, I can put it back in this hole just so that I can curl it further this way to make it easier and faster to load my little Japanese, where is he? Right there. My little Japanese mini truck with the dump body. That's the reason I'm trying to adjust this the way I am, so it's easier to load. All right, that's where we are, and I think for anyone who's thinking about trying it, I think if you want to go that route, it should be a pretty good happy medium. And as you can see, I put the linchpins in. I put a washer on here. I did that when I first bought this thing because there was so much play in these. I didn't like the tolerances. I just felt like it was more than it needed to be. So I put a washer there and it kind of tightened it up. But I think this is going to work pretty good. I like that setup better than just having the short rod there and having to go through so much to switch it back and forth. So, for anyone who's thinking about doing it, that's part 2. That's the solution I came up with. We'll see how it does. I'll keep updating you as I use it, and we'll see how it does. So I appreciate you visiting us here on the Double M Farm, and we'll talk with you again real soon.